What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Isaac Inspires. All right, today we're going over the song template. All right, so this is how I set up all my songs in Ableton so that I can drag and drop them into my live set and I don't have to worry about a thing. All right, so this is how I go about it. Let's go ahead and take a look. So in here, I've set up two things. I've set up tempo and I've set up sections. Okay, in the last video, we talked about this tempo track. All right, so we can go in here, we apply warp on, and then we make it the leader. Okay, so we're not relying on this tempo here set by Ableton, but we're relying on this tempo set by this tempo track, right? So if I set this tempo here and I make it, let's say 65, okay, I press lead again, you'll see that in Ableton, it's switched over to 65. All right, so everything is going to be following this tempo track. So this is why you want this on every song. That way, when you have a live set of 20 songs, each one comes with its own tempo. You don't have to worry about, switching stuff and all that type of stuff. This is an arrangement view, obviously. If it's in session view, that's a different conversation. Anyway, so we have that, and then we have what I call sections. This just allows me to label things so I know, intro, verse. Essentially, I just cut it up. I can rename it whatever I want to, and then I can assign a different color to it. That way, when I'm looking at it visibly, I can be like, oh, okay, this is where we're at, this is where we're not at, etc., etc. All right. So let's go ahead and drag a song in here. I'm going to use a song that me and my boy Blaze Johnson arranged for our church for Christmas time. All right, it's Joy. Blaze, incredible producer. Shout out to Blaze. So I'm going to pull that track in here. Now, what I did here was I just added a folder. Okay, went through my desktop, wherever, click the folder, you can hit open, and then it pops up here on the left-hand side so you have easy access to whatever it is that you need. So I went ahead and dragged it. Now, I've talked about this before, but if you drag tracks into Ableton like this, it's going to show up horizontally. That's not what we want. In order to make it vertical, press and hold the command button or the control button if you're on PC, and it'll make it vertical. All right, so press and hold, drop it while holding on to the command button, and then it'll form all your tracks. All right, so here we are. We have the tracks in here. Now, first thing we got to do is adjust the tempo. Let me get this out the way. Let's adjust the tempo. Okay, so the tempo for this song in particular is 166. So we're gonna double click our tempo track. We're gonna set this to 166. Once we do that, we'll hit follow lead again. You'll see everything lines up the way it's supposed to. If I turn my click on now, you'll see it's on time. All right, so in this particular song, we have all of our tracks here. I did not include click and guide. Now, that's something that I would do on this page and not my live set page, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Now, this is the beauty of having your tempo set already, is now when I come in to add my click track, which I will do, I believe it's in this section here. Maybe in the other section, let's see. Anyways, while I do this, adding the click to this makes it easier because now I can use a couple other shortcuts that I'm going to show you guys here in a second. So I'm going to drag just one click cue or one click clip, put it in a new section. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to take it all the way to the top. Now, if I look through here, this click is really, really small, and I want it to be on quarters for this tempo track, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this down to where I want my second to be. I'm going to copy, paste, copy, paste. Now, if I do this for the entirety of the track, it's going to take forever. So at this point, I'm going to shift, do this, and then I'm going to copy this whole thing and paste. All right. Then after I get to a certain point, I'm going to copy all this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit using the minus button on my keyboard. Zoom in obviously would be the plus. And then I'm going to paste. All right. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Then you know what the deal is. I'm gonna do this. Boom. 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 Now, obviously, I could do that again, but at this point, I have this pretty down pat. Okay. So now my click is in here. Now, everything is a individual click. If I want to make this so it's one just big line of clicks, I'll click on one end, I'll go to the other, I'll press shift, and then I'll hit Command J. Command J will consolidate everything and make it one line. So I hit Command J, it says consolidating, and then you'll see it's gonna come up as one cue. All right, and you can do this with anything. You can do this with guide, cue, anything you want to. All right, so if I go ahead and play some of this track here. This part is acapella, and then the tracks come in here. All right, cool. So you guys get it. If you guys want to check out how this came out too, I'll put a link to the service in the description. Okay, cool. So anyways, we have this figured out. I'm just going to move the click up to the top here. Just going to drag it. That's it. Okay, cool. So this is set up. So what we've done is we've set our tempo up. It's 166. That's cool. Now our sections. Now, if I had cues in here, and I don't, and I'm not going to take too much time to add cues, but what I would do is I would say, okay, hey, this intro right here is acapella. I know that for sure. So I'm going to press Command E and I'm going to split this. Now, how I made this is just one big MIDI track. So if you recall, if you double click, you can make a MIDI track. All I did was just drag it. All right. So I did that. Now what I can do is I can rename this section and say, this is acapella. Cool. So now I can make this, let's make this like a burnt orange. Okay. So now if I close this section track, I see that this burnt orange part is acapella. It's named and it's a color that I can realize. So what I suggest is find colors that mean something to you and then use those to label your track. So like verse could be violet because they start with a V, or chorus can be choral because they both start with a C, right? Just to make your life easy. So at this point, I would just go through the track and I would label things, right? So this is the chorus technically. I know the verse starts here. So I'm gonna Command E, cut that. I'm gonna label this chorus, and I'm gonna make this whatever the first color I see is. Okay, let's make that blue. Okay, this is the verse. Cool. So now I know this is verse 2. So I would rename this, say verse 1. Cool. And then let's make verse 1 green. Awesome. This is verse 2. This was so much fun to make, by the way. So much fun. Okay, now we're back to the chorus, right? So I cut this. I say, all right, this is verse 2. I can choose to make it the same color. I can choose to make it a different color. I think I picked this one. No, I didn't. So I'll just make it this color. Now I'm back to the chorus. Cool. So I'm gonna cut it here because if I was running tracks, I would have my end cue right here. So it's a end, 2, 3, bomb, 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 bomb. We're done, right? So I'm gonna say this is chorus right here. Ooh, sorry. Chorus right here. And then I'm gonna make it the same color as this was. So I believe that was this one. Yeah. All right. And then I'm gonna cut here. I'm gonna write end. And then I'm gonna make this, let's say, black. Then I can delete the rest of this because I don't need it. So if I zoom out now, let's bring this tempo back to the end of this song. If I zoom out, this is what my song now looks like. So I have all my tracks. I have my my sections here, so I can immediately look. Oh, I want to hit verse 1. Boom, right? Now, again, if I had cues, I would set it up differently because I would want verse 1 to either start where I hear the verse 1 cue or right where the end is, depending on how you want to set it up, right? And so what I would do at this point, personally, this is a personal thing. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Is if I have sends available, which I do in this case, and I know the sends are going to be the same for my song as they are for my live set, then I'm going to send everything to its individual send. Okay, so for example, I have click as G right here, right? So I'm going to, first let me change all this actually. I'm going to highlight all of this, and for the output, instead of main, I'm going to say go to sends only. All right, so if I play the song right now, the only thing that you're gonna hear is click because everything is going to ascend and the only thing I have set is click. So I'll go alto, goes to my vocals, my BGVs, which is E. Aux drums is percussion. Bass is part of guitars. Bells is, I made keys too. Okay, BGVs. Guitar, loops. Keys 2, keys 1. Cool. So I have everything going to ascend now, and now you see everything is active. The only thing I didn't use was guide and synth bass because I don't have those right now. So everything is going where it needs to go. All right, now here's the beautiful thing about this. Well, first let me do this. I can change the tempo here, or I can change the label and put the tempo. So 166 BPM, and then I can also put the key of the song. I don't remember what key this song was in. So I'm just gonna say it's in F, just for the sake of this. All right, now watch this. This whole thing is in F, right? Now, if I wanted to slow down or I wanted to change the key of a song, I could either do it in here or I could do it in my live set. The way I would do that is I would highlight everything, and then we talked about warping in the other video. So I highlight everything, I double click on the last song, and then I'm gonna hit this warp button. And I'm gonna change everything here to Complex Pro. All right, so what's gonna happen is everything now is adjustable. So let's say this key I get to the gig. Oh man, this key is too high, and I haven't put my live set together. Let's take it down too. Okay, I'm just gonna move this around and you're gonna hear what it sounds like. Let's go. All right. So now I can move pitch, I can change keys, and it's not gonna change the. You know how sometimes when you change the key, it adjusts the formants of the song and all that. It's not gonna do that as much with Complex Pro. All right. So if you want to be able to make everything adjustable, warping is going to be the key to do that. All right. Now you want to keep everything on follow because your lead is your tempo track. All right. So since this is the case, you want to keep that here. Now, this also can adjust tempo now. So we're at 166. Let's say I want this to be 120. Oh, see, I didn't do this. I have to hit lead and then lead again. Now it's going to be 120. All right. And I'll move this back. 166. Lead. And we're back. All right. So now you can adjust tempo. You can adjust your key signature in your song file if you want to. Now, generally speaking, you'd want to do this in your live set because that's generally when things change. The song is going to be the song, so it is what it is, right? So real quick, I'm going to pull up a live set, and then I want to show you guys something. I want to show you why this is important. So I'm going to save this. We'll do save as, and then we'll just call this, song 1. All right. I'll put it in a folder that I remember. And then I'm going to pull up our live template here. I'll do that. Cool. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Here's why I love this. If I go over to that folder, so it was in this right here. I'm just going to open this folder. Song 1, you see that this is an Ableton file, right? Now, what I can do is I can just drag this whole file here. Everything pops up. My tempo's here, my sections are here, and my tracks are here. So now I have tempo, sections, fade. All I have to do is I can take all of this. Let's move it to number 1, song 1. I just cut and paste it. I'm gonna move this up here. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. There we go. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna paste. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna paste. I'm gonna take my click. I'm gonna put it up here where my click is. And then the rest of this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it into a group. So I'm gonna highlight all of them, press Command G to make a group. I'm gonna label this group Joy. And then I can make all this one color if I wanted to. Let's just do that. Okay. Then I'm gonna take all of this, put it in the tracks group that I have here. Right, so I have my click separate and I have my track separate. And the reason we do that is because, and I'll explain this more in the live set video, is because I want to have the ability to fade in and fade out if I need to, which we discussed a little bit in the fade in, fade out video. If I had cues, I would take the cues out and I would put it under guide. And I want guide separate because I can assign that to a different send, right? Okay, cool. So now I'm going to delete everything else I don't need. So here is song 1. Now, you see how simple it was to set this up? I can do 10 songs. If I already have the song files, I can do it in 5 minutes, right? And again, the same rules still apply where I can come into here, change tempo, change key, and now it doesn't affect the song file itself. It just affects the live set. So that day during the set, they say, take it down a key. Cool. Boop. I take it down a key. It's over, right? Now, the other cool thing about this is I have all my cues here, my fade in, fade out, repeat, stop, all that type of stuff. That's nice. Now, remember how we assigned things to sends in the song file, okay? I said if my live file is the same way, I don't have to worry about it. Check this out. Everything that I assigned in Joy is still assigned. So if it's the same way in my live, which it is, when I play this, everything is going, everything is going exactly where it needs to go. So I literally don't have to touch anything. I can have everything assigned in my song file and know when I move it here, I don't have to mess with it. It's good as it is, right? So this, like I said, Ableton can make your life very simple if you want it to be simple. You can adjust everything in your song template and then move it to your live, and you don't have to worry about it. The only thing you'll have to make sure is that these sends, you can actually change this now that it's in a group called Joy. Instead of doing sends only, you can assign it to Joy, right? To the name of the group that it's in. Assign Joy to tracks, and then assign tracks to send only. So this information here is going to this information is going to this, and this information is going to your sends. It's the same thing, right? So if I play it, all right, and everything is set. Now, remember, I said that we can fade in and fade out. This is why we have everything in tracks right now. So let's say we're playing and we get off click, right? I hit O, everything is out. Let's say we get back on track. I hit I, everything's back in. Let's hit O, I hit O. Let's say we're back on track. I want it to hop right in. I don't want it to fade in. I hit R. All right. So this is why I want everything in one group here so that I control volume levels from my live set, because we all know mistakes happen and things like that. All right. So I'll get more into live set stuff later because there's some other stuff that you can do that are really cool. But this is it for the song section. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the description. In the comments, that's the description. In the comments, there's so many cool things that you can do. And I'll look forward to continuing to show you guys more and more and more. When it gets to live set stuff, we'll talk about how to fade in, fade out. And yeah, it's going to be fun. All right. So, hope this helped. See you guys in the next one. Peace.